I asked my fans in a community post about their hot takes relating to Bear, along with my own personal thoughts on these opinions, so I'll begin. First hot take is 5th anniversary is absolute dog crap. With 5th anniversary, it seems like you either hate the update, or you just thought it was kind of okay. I personally just thought the update was fine, but I understand the complaints. I mean, for the 5th anniversary, the update is really lacking. It only really adds a few skins, and it's a really grindy update as well. Pretty much all the skins in this update that are new are really expensive. It feels less like you're playing to enjoy it and more just to get the skins, which is really annoying, so I understand that. This is also the update that started the whole grindy skins thing. You could see it in all the weekly updates where they'll have one skin that's really expensive for no reason. I've never been a fan of just constantly having to grind for skins. I mean, I have other things to do in my life aside from Bear, so... At the same time though, let's not ignore the good things this update brought out, like spicy servers. Spicy servers aren't amazing, but they're a welcome addition. So, 5th anniversary was a bit lacking, but it was an okay update in my opinion. I understand why people weren't a fan of it though. The Blue 121 says, the game is dry as heck. I can't really blame you for this one. I mean, Bear doesn't really have much gameplay changes when it comes down to updates. I mean, there'll be a new map. The last time there was a new game mode was years ago, I think. It was freeze tag, and people hated that mode. But, yeah, I do think Bear needs something new to make it more interesting again. Why not add some kind of boss fight? Heck, bring back the Arctic Valley boss fight. Everyone wants that fight back. There's no reason not to at this point. Christmas is coming up. So, yeah. Delujob says, more complicated design skins are better. I don't really care if a skin is complex or not, I'm just hoping it'll have some kind of appeal that'll make me want to use the skin. If the skin is well made, then sure, people will call it well made, but what's the point in using it if it doesn't have that charm? I think the reason people like the more basic skins is because that's just their charm. There's not much to them, it's basically just a bear with this on that, or this or this. I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope it does. One thing that kind of annoys me though, is that people will often judge a skin entirely on whether it fits a style or not. Like, skins like Angelic are really complex looking for alpha, sure, but they're cool skins, you shouldn't let how advanced they look get in the way of that. I mean, have you seen how badly people want Desktop Friends to not be an alpha just because it has pets? Who cares if it has pets or not? What really matters is if the skin is good or not, and I think Desktop Friend is good. XSammyX says, the devs don't even work on a Halloween update. This is true, but in the end you should remember, the devs are people like us, they have better things to do than make updates for us, especially since often we'll call crap on the update just because of one thing we didn't like about it. As a community, we should appreciate the developers more because of all the things they do for us. For a game that isn't even that popular at the moment, they still work on it actively. I'm sure something big's in the works right now, but for now, we should just see. Give them a chance, you know, they're people, just like us. Somebody says, Astro is the worst map. A lot of people agreed with this. Heck, the comment here got 6 likes. And do I agree? Yes. Of all the maps in Bear Alpha, this Astro is the only one I actually dislike. It's just a really unbalanced map. The map is way too big, and the layout is really confusing. Some parts just don't make much sense. It's hard to tell really where you're going. Unless you have really good memory and can tell where you're going to go, it's just not very fair. And a map is so big that a survivor could wander aimlessly for the entire round and never encounter Bear, unlike many maps where hiding's often the better option. I just find that it's an inherently flawed map, to the point where I don't think even a remake could fix it. It's just not as good as the others. Like, unpopular maps like System Crypt, Backrooms, Anamoya have redeeming qualities. Anamoya's got a lot of fans, and if you ask me, it's a very well balanced map. People only dislike that one because it's small. System Crypt is probably the most unpopular map at the moment, but it at least has a really cool aesthetic. And the Backrooms is the same story. It's got a cool aesthetic as well. But Astro just doesn't have that. In fact, just to make it even worse, there's another space map, that being Cyanotype, so Astro doesn't even have a unique aesthetic anymore. It's a shame because what was once a cool map just kind of became confusing. Don't get me started on the Moonwalker Quest 2, that one's annoying to me. Blue Diamond Kid says, the rubber hose skin looks, well, ugly. Honestly, I can't really blame you for that. I'll compare it to Rubber Hose since they're pretty similar skins, but what I think makes it different is that Rubber Mole's got this lipstick that kind of looks weird on the skin. You know, kind of gives off vibes of a mime, which is a bit creepy, obviously, so I think that's why. Nonat says, the community likes complaining. Yup. I feel like the community's been really messy ever since 2024. There's been so much complaining, just people being rude to each other for no reason. Kind of feels like everyone in the community is just bringing each other down when you really shouldn't do that. Like, what's the point in doing that? Hopefully 2025 will be a better year for this community. Swagger9999 says, Sam is overpriced. I honestly agree with this. At the time when Sam was released, it really wasn't overpriced. There weren't really many skins like this. I mean, there was little Sam to Sam, but getting Sam himself, he was an elusive character, so obviously people wanted him. But now, that's not really the case anymore. There are lots of different Sam skins out that are so much cheaper, or heck, can be gotten easily if you just play the game for like 20 minutes, like Frozen Samta. Not only that, but on week 5 of the weekly updates this year, they released Sam Yes Edition, which is basically just Sam, but it looks slightly more different, and yet, it's only 18,000 quids instead of 90,000. So, if you ask me, Sam isn't really that worth it anymore. I've seen people defend this skin's price to death though, and if you ask me, it's because they just feel bad they have to spend so much time paying for a skin when there's just a cheaper version of it. Rapper Red Hair Monday says, Sam's voice lines don't make him a good skin. I think this is a fair point. I mean, while the voice lines are cool, there's nothing that really makes them more special than other skins of voice lines. I mean, Wensleydale just gets its own theme song and it's only 1,600. Sam doesn't have a theme song. In fact, one of Sam's voice lines is the exact same voice line as Devil Bear's, so what makes Sam so much more special than Devil Bear? Bears Channel 69 says, Fungus Bear is better than half the skins in the shop. This isn't really anything crazy, it all just comes down to your opinion. If you like Mushroom Bear, then you like Mushroom Bear. There's nothing that makes it objectively better, it's just a simple opinion. Practical Salmon Roblox says, Mole Bear is overrated. This is probably the hottest take on this video, and personally, I find I kind of disagree with it. What made Mole Bear so loved in the first place was how unique it was. It's a bear covered in different things, yet they have this kind of order to them. It doesn't look messy, it all fits together weirdly. Next up, the skin has lots of different voice lines, and by lots I mean 3, that are all really unique and have a lot of charm to them. Just the constant shifting in the voice, it really works. Obviously, if you don't like Mole Bear, then that's fair, but I don't think it's fair to call something overrated. Saying something is overrated is like saying, hey, this thing? Yeah, that doesn't deserve its fans. That might just be me though. Molebear.exe says, I like SOS. I like SOS too, to be honest. I think a lot of that comes from the atmosphere. SOS has got to have one of my favourite atmospheres in the entire game. It's just really lonely, and the music fits so well too. The music feels so empty and dead, as though it's a representation of the life of the submarine being completely gone, with all the people in there disappearing. It's so empty, unwelcoming, as though something's going to happen, yet that something never does truly happen. It's really creepy and really well done. Thankfully, the layout of the level is pretty good as well. It's less creepy than the old version, but just works better as a map. Overall, SOS is pretty good. I feel like it really deserves more attention than it actually gets. Also, the Unwell quest is so cool. Beb is radical says, literally the only good thing about the game are the boss fights. I really disagree with this opinion. In fact, this is probably the one I disagree with the most. Unfortunately, Beb didn't elaborate on why the boss fights were the only good thing about it. But the thing is, the point of the gameplay of Bear Alpha is that it's meant to be simple. Horror games are meant to be simple. Boss fights aren't as simple. Instead of being in a survival situation, you are the one who is attacking, which kind of takes away from the horror. If the only part of Bear you like is the one part that isn't horror-based, then maybe horror games just aren't for you, I don't know. Luca is Epic says, the Vector boss should have given a better reward. I don't know about this. I mean, what else could they have really given out? I think Greedy's good enough, and the yellow particles are pretty cool as well. And we have to remember, this isn't the last lore-related thing that's going to be in Bear Alpha. there's still going to be more after this. I mean, what happens after Vector actually gets defeated? Does Lagoon just, I don't know, kill himself? Hopefully not. I feel like the lore is just not done here, and therefore, we shouldn't be like, oh, well, greedy doesn't work as a final reward, because if you ask me, it's not. The Epic Buckethead says, the core gameplay is not fun at all, it's just boring and grindy. I get this one. I mean, a lot of that comes from the skins themselves. The thing that annoys me with a lot of the newest skins is just how expensive they are for no good reason. I mean, we've got skins like Dutchman, which I think are worth it, but then we have Saucer Bear, which, if you ask me, is a bit too basic to be 10k. You know, I feel like these problems could easily be fixed. I think if Bear were to get 2 more game modes, and then they had the game modes appear more, it would work a lot better, but unfortunately that just hasn't happened. The last game mode we got was Freeze Tag, and people hated that game mode, so I feel like Cheetah was like, alright, no more creativity with game modes, people are gonna hate them. To give out some ideas of my own, I feel like Bear could have a hot potato mode, where one person is the bear, and if the bear touches someone, then the bear becomes a survivor, and the survivor they touched becomes the bear, and then whoever's the bear by the end loses while everyone else wins. That's just an idea though. Chromablock says, Atrocity is overrated. I disagree with this. Atrocity is a really cool and unique skin, although it's really annoyingly rare, I do like it quite a lot. Trudy Suckeye says, my favourite horror game in Roblox, presumably referring to Bear Alpha. I agree. Anyways, I'm gonna be ending the video here. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I haven't made bear content in a little bit, mainly because there's not really that much to make, but I enjoyed making this one, so hopefully you'll like and subscribe so my channel can get bigger. It really helps out a lot. Anyways, that's the end, obviously. Goodbye. Lol. Also, how did I miss this survivor? He was right there.